Check out this beautiful Orient Star. Now this one, I'll put the model number in the description, but there it is if you want to pause it. I'm not going to read it. They do ridiculously long part numbers for them, and I have no use for them, but that is it regardless. So big thanks to Stewart for sending this over. A couple of watches he sent over, but this one is very cool and has, I mean, right out of the gate, it just kind of has that Omega Aqua Terra type vibe to it. I think that's kind of like the pinstriped or teak, dial look to it. And then the polishing on the indices and hands are almost polished to the point where it's like that black polish where you go beyond polished and it starts to like kind of blacken a little bit. Makes it super legible. We'll do some close-ups and we'll do some, try to catch different light and everything like that so we can get a complete visual effect on it. But let's talk about case size right out of the gate. That's typical format. Everywhere I see this watch listed, which it came out in 2013 and they're pretty much all gone now. So you're looking at the used market. But everywhere I looked, they have this labeled as a 40 millimeter watch. I measure it at 41. I guess if you cheat a little bit, maybe you can get 40, but it's a 41, guys. So 41 by 47.3, 47, I guess. Drilled lugs, really nice brushed sides and brushed on the top of the lugs, and then polished going around there, polished bezel, polished, mid links here or whatever on the bracelet. So you have a nice combination of brushed and polished surfaces is the point. 11.85 thick, sapphire crystal on top that is flat. 22 millimeter lug width. Tapers down to a 20. You have a milled center section. I don't know if that's not really stamped. I don't know if it's really milled, but it's a really thick clasp here. 3 micro adjust, just double pusher, and then the Orient Star logo there. So really nicely done bracelet. The drape on it is fantastic. The links are short enough and there's enough separation in them that it flows really nice. It does appear to be a split pin design, and you do have solid end links. You have a display case back. This is going to be a mineral crystal on the back. You can see some decoration to that movement. It is the Orient in-house movement. I believe they call this one again with a bunch of numbers, 40751. It beats at the 21,600. Should have about a 40-hour power reserve. I did throw this on the time grapher. It is running at a plus 10 seconds dial up. I didn't check any other positions. 3-hander with a date. There is lume on the hour and minute, and then those little dots around the circumference. There's also lume on there. So we will do a lume shot at the end. Non-screw down crown, 50-meter water resist, and it does wind. It's an automatic. You can hand wind it and you can hack it. It does all of that. So the other thing I have to make sure I mention is the clarity on the sapphire crystal on the top. This was, I believe there's 3 colorways of this model. There's a carbon fiber dial, black carbon fiber dial, which is really cool, this model, and then there's another one that's like white or off-white, but it has like gold colored indices and hands. So, but in this lineup, Orient Star introduced what they call SAR, super anti-reflective. So they did AR coating on the underside of the crystal, and they did a crazy layer of AR coating on the top side. So it basically makes the crystal disappear. You can see right there, even catching my studio lights, from that angle right there, it almost looks like there is no crystal. It looks like you can just reach in there and touch it. So if we do a close-up here, you can see just a fantastic dial. I mean, and then the polishing on the handset and the indices. I mean, this is like way higher done than the price point would suggest. I think retail was around 600 or something. Long Island watch, when they had them listed for $499. So you're talking on the regular, this watch could have been had for $500, brand new. I think that is a killer option in the $500 range. This watch it's all in-house. It has, I love the super anti-reflective. Basically, when you do a really good, healthy application of anti-reflective coating on the top and bottom of the crystal, there's some downsides, but the plus side of it is it disappears. And I absolutely love that. A lot of Omega does that. A lot of Breitling does that. I'm sure there's some other brands that do it really well, but it's nice to see it in a JDM model such as this. So just a fantastic looking watch. Let me try to do a close up on the movement there. You can see it's got some swirlies and stuff. And the rotor is kind of signed out. It's actually, I don't know how they did that. It's like slightly elevated. I'm not sure how that's done, but that's pretty cool nonetheless. All right, let's pop this guy on wrist. Just because I was doing this video, I threw on Homer's Alpinist that he sent in. So, and I'll show them next to each other because you can see quite the size difference there. And I know a lot of people might say that this watch really should have had 20 millimeter lug width. I kind of agree with you. I think it should have had a 20 mil lug width and maybe actually be a 40, 41 is maybe a little bit big. I don't know. It is what it is. It's a great watch. I think the size is going to work on my wrist, no problem. But I know there's a lot of people out there that would have loved to have seen this in a 40 mil with 20 mil lug width. But as you can see on my wrist, this is very, very sporty looking. I mean, you could dress it up or you could sport it up. I think on Bracelet, it's very sporty looking. You know, you could throw it on some really, really good black leather and it would look crazy. Stewart actually had this leather strap, which smells and looks and feels amazing. I'll try to, if you guys can catch, maybe you guys can comment. I know there's a lot of guys out there with that are into leather straps. So there's the brand. It's made in Sweden. Yeah, this is a killer strap. I love it. And this would look really good on here. Nice touch of white on there to tie in with the dial. So I'm assuming he wore it on that. The bracelet does have a little bit of wear, so I'm assuming he wore it on that as well. Maybe not. It's actually pretty clean. Just needs to be wiped down. Maybe he didn't wear it on bracelet. I don't know. I don't think he wore it a ton anyway, to be honest with you. Just a great looking watch. Let's kill the lights, check the lume, and I'll see you guys in the comments. There you go. Block that thing so maybe it'll focus. Maybe. Maybe not. So anyway, there is lume on the hour and minute, and then obviously lume on the outer perimeter of the indices. Just the right amount, I think, for a watch like this. It still is going to be a sporty watch, and I think that's nice that they added the lume to also play that role.